Welcome back to the Shine Gaming and Esports Center for another edition of Monday Night Rocket League. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been here in Shine. Of course, we've had a couple of weeks of PEC split screen from the auditorium over at the Marley Education Center. But we're back in Shine. We've got an excellent matchup tonight, Syracuse versus Baylor. I'm Jack Elliott, joining you with Nate Romastan, and it should be an awesome one tonight, Nate.
Yeah, today should be awesome. We have number 1 Baylor, number 3 Syracuse, 14-0 versus 9-4. Should be an exciting day of Rocket League.
Yeah, this is one of those games that has huge implications for the PEC standings. We'll take you through a look at those PEC standings here in just a minute. But, I mean, this Baylor team has not lost yet. They are one of the best teams. They are the best team, pretty consensus in the PEC right now, and it's going to be tough to beat them. So you see there they are at 14-0. Boise State sits second at 12-3, so they've only got, I think, one more game left to play this semester due to a couple of reschedulings. And then Syracuse and Michigan State both sit at 9-4. That kind of caps off the upper echelon of the PEC right now. Michigan State has an easier matchup tonight. If Syracuse falls to Baylor, it is pretty likely that they'll fall into that 4th seed.
Yeah, and it's important to watch that Michigan State game because, like you said, one win for Michigan State. Syracuse loses tonight. They will take the lead and jump up above Syracuse to that 3 spot.
And that is not somewhere you want to be, because that means that when you get to Vegas, if you make it to the semifinals, and if everything's chalked to the semifinals, that is, if 1, 2, 3, and 4 all win their first or second round matchups, then you have to go up against that 1 seed likely to be Baylor, as opposed to getting into a tight matchup with either Michigan State or Boise State.
Yeah, Baylor is not the team you want to see in the semifinals. You really want to see Boise. It gives you a chance to get to the finals. You don't want to play the team that we think right now, and a lot of people believe is going to be the favorite to win it in the semifinals. You're going to see them in the finals.
And last week, Syracuse went into a tight matchup with Boise State. They won the first 2 games and then proceeded to get reverse swept, which was unfortunate, but they played well, and they were also down a starter, and that was Lesser. Lesser, had some flight cancellations, but was unable to make it back for the game. Really unfortunate, that he couldn't be there, and they had Nano, who played a great game in his stead, but it just wasn't enough to get past Boise. Lesser, though, he's one of the best players on this Syracuse team. Obviously, there's only 3 of them. But, he's been absolutely fantastic this year in the PEC, too.
Yeah, Lesser has been really phenomenal for the Orange, and we saw the impact that it has. When he's not in the lineup, you said Nano, he did play very well, was actually shockingly well, to my opinion. But Lesser is such an impactful player for the Orange. He does so many things right. He is kind of, I don't want to say a glue guy, because they're all glue guys when you only have 3 in a roster, but Lesser can make a difference any day.
Lesser is the guy on the roster who sparks on offense. The word that's been used to describe him all season has been maverick, and that is exactly who he is. When he gets in the air with the ball and a bunch of boost, it's terrifying for opposing defenses. And this is certainly a defense that is not terrified by much that they'll be playing today in Baylor.
Yeah, Baylor is a defense that really, they are not afraid of you at all. They are one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the PEC. So really whatever you try to do offensively, Baylor says, yeah, been there, seen that, we're good.
That's what happens when you get 3 pro players on a roster together. They just play great in every single facet of the game, but they haven't been spotless since, in this new semester they've added that new player, a new pro player, and replaced their 3rd guy from last semester, and that, they haven't looked as dominant as they did last semester. Minnesota nearly got a game off them last week. It's been kind of interesting to see, yeah?
Yeah, it has been interesting, and it's really a team dynamic thing, right? It's a comfort thing. It's how much do you trust the teammate that you're playing with? And when you throw somebody new into a roster like that, things can take a little bit of time to smooth over, and we are getting a little bit deep into the semester for the PEC. So if you're Baylor, you'd like to see that speed up and really win games like Minnesota more comfortably. But ultimately, it just takes time sometimes for these teams to find rhythm.
And a full-strength Syracuse is going to be a tough test for this Baylor team. See if they're clicking on all cylinders. What do you think it takes for Syracuse to win this game, or even win one map in this game? Baylor's only lost, I think, 4 all year.
I think if you're Syracuse, you have to take advantage of the opportunities. Baylor will have holes in their defense at some point. Every great defense does. If you're Syracuse, you have to take advantage of that gap that Baylor's going to give you.
You got to be clinical, and you got to punish them, especially when they commit they commit guys forward. You have to attack quickly, get down the other end, and you can't let yourself get boost starved, because something that this Baylor team does so well is keep you in your defending half, not let you get out and get boost, and just wear you down again and again over time.
Yeah, Baylor, they're so good that they're able to do that. They play so confidently. They play so well together, even though they are still working out a tiny bit of kinks for Baylor standards. They're able to really put pressure on you offensively and make you play in a way that you really don't want to play, make you play a different style of Rocket League compared to what you're used to.
And something that, I was talking to the guys beforehand, and I asked them, what is the mentality going into this? Lesser, fairly confident. He says, just got to play this game like any other game. That's what he had to say. The captain, Gababy, he was a little bit more nervous. They lost to this Baylor team earlier, a couple days ago in CRL qualifiers. They ended up going through, winning out in the losers bracket, so they qualified as well for CRL. But this is still a team that they've seen recently. They also saw them in Hawaii a couple weeks ago, and it's a team that they haven't been able to get the best of quite yet.
Yeah, it's a team that really has been a thorn in Syracuse's side. But if you're Syracuse, you have to come out and play confidently today. You have to just let those past games go. They're in the past for a reason, right? You have to let them go. Don't drive with looking in the rearview mirror. Come out, play your game, and play confident.
I mean, this team is playing on a lot of different fronts right now. Just mentioned CRL. They also qualified for CECC very recently, which is, the Collegiate Esports Championship. So that's really exciting. But we're going to get into things right here. Starting off with Tiz on the right wing. Manages to tap it past one, but Hoxer gets the demolition. It's floating around that corner for Baylor, but Lesser is there to find it and keep it from getting past midfield. Gababy finds it in the attacking end. Can't find Tiz, though, and it's up to Zanil to clear it out. Zanil, the new player for Baylor this season. Lesser wins a 50, but Gababy can't quite find it, and it's knocked back into the middle. Tiz tries to get it past Zanil, get into the offensive end for Syracuse, but can't quite do it. Hoxer just harmlessly slings it off the back wall, and it's back in that Baylor defensive end yet again. Andy clearing it out for Baylor, past midfield. Knocks it past one. It's a shot on goal, but it's a good save from Gababy. Gababy now trying to clear it out. Not a ton of boost, so he's going to try and leave it for Tiz, but Zanil reads it well. Leaves it for Lesser in the middle, and Andy is going to be the one to clear it out now. Zanil with a full tank of boost, can't quite get on the end of it. Andy recollects in that corner, knocks it towards the middle, and Tiz is there to clear it out.
Yeah, Tiz does a great job clearing it out, and really the Syracuse defense is holding strong. Baylor pressured them a few times there, and really Syracuse just did what they needed to do. Gababy had one or two good saves, and now Baylor going to try to go back on the offensive, and they have here.
Yeah, and it's been pretty back and forth so far, but it's an opportunity in front. Zanil can't quite get it past, and Tiz manages to get the save and clear it into that Baylor defensive end. Andy with a full tank of boost comes through the air. Zanil gets a demolition. Lesser gets a demolition on Zanil, keeps some of that offensive pressure off. Lesser now got a full tank of boost and manages to win a 50. Tiz knocks it down in front of goal, but Andy comes through with a great save. Syracuse with a great offensive chance. Just better defense. Zanil now full tank of boost. Gets stopped by Tiz, left it for Andy. Andy coming through into that offensive zone, tries to get it past two. Gababy manages to get the save, and Tiz clears. Lesser flying through the air, clears it out yet again, and meets Andy on the top back wall. Oh my goodness.
A great save by Gababy. Baylor, those are the opportunities that all season so far have been gimmies for Baylor. Those have been what Baylor's really dominated teams with, but Syracuse bending but not breaking.
And Gababy is the defensive master for this team. Lesser, though, coming across for the save right there. Zanil meets Tiz on the clear. Andy tries to keep it in that Syracuse defensive zone, but can't quite do it. Tiz flicks it forward, met by Hoxer. Lesser tries to flick it off the wall. Tiz flicks it into the middle, but Hoxer is able to clear. Hoxer gets that 100 boost, but Tiz comes and meets him. Tiz, no boost, needs to create something out of nothing, but Andy is there to flick it off the back wall. Lesser with a follow-up shot, but can't finish past Zanil. Gababy keeping it in that offensive zone. Tiz tries to get a shot on net, but just goes wide left. Lesser flicks it into the middle for Gababy, but Gababy can't get on the end of it. Now it's Zanil going forward. Zanil flicks it into the offensive zone, but Tiz is on the back wall, and there are no Bears there to clear it.
Yeah, no Bears there, and Syracuse really just did a great job keeping the ball in Baylor's zone as it's a goal for the Orange as Tiz knocks it through.
It's been back and forth so far all game, but Lesser just manages to flick it past Hoxer, find Tiz. There was no third defender there to stop it. Syracuse leads with under 2 minutes to go.
A great job by the Orange, taking advantage of the opportunity. Baylor gave them a gap, and they took advantage.
Baylor needs to get on the offensive end now and will attempt to with Zanil, but Gababy's there to clear it out. Andy knocks it back in towards the middle. Lesser misses it, but Tiz finally gets to clear it out. Hoxer up off that sidewall, trying to find a teammate, finds Zanil. Zanil, oh, just rings off the post. Lesser with a decently full tank of boost, trying to clear it. Gets past one, but no more than that. Now Tiz with 100 boost. Into that corner, couldn't get anything decent on net. Gets past Andy, but Andy holds strong right there in the middle. Lesser with a shot on net. Hoxer can't get up for it. Syracuse leads 2-0 with 1 minute and 14 seconds to play. Lesser with a snipe from the right wing. And Syracuse is in complete control right now.
A great shot by Lesser, played his boost perfectly, knew that Baylor would be in a bad position to make a save, and sinks it for the Orange.
And everybody is coming through right now for Syracuse. Gababy manages to get a save, and Tiz comes through in the clutch yet again in between the goalposts. He's been everywhere tonight. Lesser tries to flick it out, but Andy gets on top of it. Leaves it for Hoxer. Hoxer tries to knock it down to Andy, and it's a good save from Gababy. Tiz trying to find a way to get a clear, and he manages to flick it past Zanil. Now in that offensive zone, nobody's back. He gets a shot on net, but can't find it. Rings off the post. Andy leaves it. Lesser up for it and makes the save. Tiz now trying to clear it out. Nobody back, and he gets the goal. Nobody on defense for Baylor. Syracuse leads 3-0. 40 seconds to play, and the Orange are running rampant.
Baylor commits everybody in that situation. They say, we're down 2-0, we need to go make a play, make the game 2-1. Well, what does that do? It gives the Orange opportunities to make a play like that.
And it's like pulling the goalie in hockey. It's high risk, high reward, and that's exactly what happened there. And Syracuse capitalized very well. Baylor looking to salvage anything they can from this game. Zanil flicks it into that offensive zone. Lesser, though, now gets an opportunity to clear. Gets the 100 boost. Tries to read Hoxer, but Hoxer did a good job at staying true to his game plan. Andy trying to find any sort of offense. Going to be tough to do much of anything with just 14 seconds left. Zanil manages to stop Gababy's shot. Just 9 seconds to go on the clock. And, I mean, it's fair to say at this point, Syracuse has this thing wrapped up. Gababy clears yet again. Andy coming off the wall with 100 boost, but double zeros next time it hits ground. It's going to be a Syracuse victory in game 1. And it's just 5 game losses for Baylor. The 5th one handed to them here by the Orange. Syracuse leads 1-0, and I don't think we expected to be in this situation coming into it, huh, Nate?
I did not expect the Orange to at least win map 1. I thought at some point the Orange could have maybe snuck a map out of there, but wow, to start out 3-0 too. Not give a team that's as dynamic and can shoot as well as Baylor to get any shots, really. Baylor had no opportunities.
And I think there were just a couple moments, like 1 or 2, where Syracuse looked a little pressured on defense. We'll maybe get a look at them here with the replays. There were just a couple moments where they looked a little pressured on defense. Yeah, one was right here. Andy nearly got it by Gababy. That's exactly the moment I was thinking of, and it was a great save from Gababy. But the rest of it was just Syracuse putting pressure on the Bears. It was a great pass from Lesser to Tiz there, showing the effect that Lesser has when he's back with this team. And then this was another snipe from Lesser, and player of the game there, I think, has to be Lesser. He was absolutely everywhere. Gababy was great on defense there. You see another save from Lesser. And Tiz was, creating in the offensive zone, as you see right there. But it was a full team performance, though. Lesser, though, showing what he can do for this team when he is back.
Yeah, Lesser really came into form there. Maybe questions how did he play after not playing in a match last week. Really stepped up, played phenomenal. Another name we mentioned was Gababy. His value on defense is unprecedented. As we get into the game here, Gababy gonna clear it for the Orange. Andy is back in the right wing. Zanel and Andy climbing up the wall. Gets it out. Good block by Tiz. Gababy back for the Orange, though. Sends it into Baylor's zone. Zanel and Gababy gonna match up here. Hoxer are gonna get it out, and Gababy can't get the go. Zanel now trying to clear it out for the Baylor Bears. Cannot. Andy will. No, he won't. Tiz shuts him down.
It's been really disciplined offense so far from Syracuse. Gababy nearly sneaks it by Andy. It's good defense from the Bear. But yeah, I mean, it's been really disciplined stuff so far from Syracuse in that offensive zone.
The Orange have been disciplined. Is Gababy going to have a chance here? No. Zanell comes flying up and knocks it away. Andy now and Lesser one-on-one. Andy going to win it? No. Lesser gets it. Tiz now. Zanell has to stop this attack by the Orange, and he will. Gababy here, though, to counter, and the Orange just still pressuring the Baylor Bears. The Bears haven't been able to get the ball out of their zone. It feels like as what could have been an opportunity for Lesser. Andy going to clear it. The Bears have a chance, and Gababy is home to save them. Tiz tries to send it out. Zanell able to just get back in time for the Bears. It looked like that could have been a full commit.
Yeah, I thought they didn't have anybody back on defense there for a sec, but it was good stuff from Zanil to get back.
And the Bears almost had a chance there. They do, and Andy is going to sneak it through for the Bears. Gababy kind of stuck in a one-on-two there.
Yeah, that's just so difficult. Tiz tried to get the clear, and Gababy nearly got back for it, but that's just a tough goal to concede, especially after you've looked so consistent on offense.
A tough goal for the Orange, but you can't let that stop you now. Baylor going to win the face-off. 2 men back for the Orange. Andy going to send it out to midfield. Tiz there to stop it. Zanell sends it back into the Orange territory. Lesser flying up now to counter Zanell, and Gababy going to clear it. Andy is back deep for the Bears. He's going to send it into the Orange zone as Tiz is back. A lot of back and forth here early in this second round.
I mean, it shows that they're playing more cagey. They're not really necessarily willing to commit all that many numbers forward so far. And I mean, it's led to, you know, more back and forth gameplay.
More back and forth for sure. Is Andy going to have an opportunity? Passes it out to the middle, but no one home. Tiz is there to stop it. Hawkser comes flying in, and Gababy clears it. There is a man back for the Bears. It is Andy, as Baylor still pressuring Syracuse. Gababy going to clear it. Tiz there, knocks it, and not even to the 50. Syracuse has struggled to get this ball across the 50-yard line. Lesser going to get a stop. The Bears try to force a goal, cannot get it. Hawkser now sends it towards the goal a little bit, but not a shot. Gababy sends it to Tiz. Tiz in a one-on-one sends it up, and Hawkser, what a great defense.
Yeah, that was, I mean, I couldn't even tell how he got up for that, but it would have been a goal without him.
And Baylor going to get a goal on the Orange. Just great work out of Baylor. That is fundamental Rocket League. And you see it right there. They send it out. You put the Orange in a situation. Who do I pick? Either one you pick's wrong.
Yeah, and it was a clinical counterattack where Syracuse just didn't quite have the numbers back to defend.
The Orange didn't have the numbers at all. The Orange win the faceoff, though. But Andy does what he does best, clears the ball out. But Lesser, never mind that. The Orange trying to get a shot and almost sneaks in for Lesser. They do get a demo there. Another demo for the Orange. Zanell with an opportunity to score for the Bears. They get it. Andy, again, his third goal of the game. He sneaks it past Gababy.
Yeah, it was just some sloppy defending. You see Gababy misses the defensive opportunity there. If he had managed to clear that out, it would have been a whole different story. But once it's knocked down, even though Zanil can't finish, I mean, it's still an easy finish for Baylor.
As gimme as it gets for Baylor, this is just batting practice for them, it looks like. Baylor pressuring again as it's Andy. Tiz with only 21 boost, able to clear the ball out. Lesser gets it across the 50. And now Andy comes flying in. That 89 boost could be critical here for a play from Andy and Hawkser. Only 14 for Gababy as he is able to defend it. But here comes Andy with that 89 boost. Sends it to Lesser, though. Lesser with a good block. Zanell tries to get a shot on goal. Gababy, the defensive guy, is there to get a stop. And Tiz now gets it across the 50. But there's 2 Baylor Bears back as Hawkser going to be the first one to make contact with the ball. The Orange trying to put some aggression on the Bears. Lesser playing defense here. Hawkser tries to get it. Andy going to get it across the 50. And Lesser, all the Orange actually back on defense. And Andy backs up for the Bears. They don't want to overcommit here. You're up 3-0. Keep trying to play solid defense. Lesser has 91 boost. You got to take advantage of this boost that the Orange have, but Hawkser's wide open at the net. Makes it a 4-0 for the Orange, or for the Bears, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, this is a complete flip from what we saw in game 1, and it feels like both teams have kind of taken their feet off the gas pedals, at least once it got to 3-0. I mean, it's just been good adjustments from Baylor. It felt like game 1 could have gone either way. This one has been all Bears from the jump.
All Bears on the Orange as Lesser going to try to put some type of aggression onto Baylor, but their defense just so good this game so far. Andy, who has had 3 goals, going to try to get it to the middle. can. Hawks are going to defend Gababy. Gababy playing a little bit more aggressive here than we've seen him in the past. And Gababy's going to try to get back for defense, does get the boost. Lesser also gets an 100 boost, so the Orange have 2 100 boost guys. Now Lesser down to 39, playing on the right side of the map. Andy going to have a shot, potentially, and it's Hawkser. And the Baylor Bears are going to score again, just adding insult to injury.
Yeah, I mean, nobody from Syracuse was back there. Lesser tried to get in the way, but was the only person back and didn't quite have the boost to defend. I think Syracuse has kind of said, all right, we're going to move on to Game 3. We're going to try and win on Game 3, and this one's pretty much over.
Yeah, if you're Syracuse, you have to really just maybe start planning for that next game. Try to get a goal here to just feel a little bit good going into Map 3, but you're playing for Map 3. Andy going to have it, and it's a wide open shot for the Bears to make it 6-0. Full commit from the Orange, and I mean, man, wow.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really blame them for any of these goals. You know, once you go down 3-0, it's tough to recover from that, as we saw last game from Baylor too. These games are really decided by momentum.
Yeah, momentum a huge part of these Rocket League matches. Really anything esports related, momentum's a huge word that is used all the time to describe how games are going, and Baylor right now just has all the momentum. Syracuse trying to get something together. Gababy gonna take a shot, and Baylor's defense doing what it does best, clearing the ball out. Zanell sends it to middle. Lesser is there for potentially a shot. Couldn't get it. 1 second left. As soon as the ball touches, the map is over. I think the map's already over. Baylor 6-0. There's not much the Orange can do as the ball touches.
Yeah, I mean, there it is. It was definitely a more rough game for Syracuse, but I don't think the score shows exactly. You know, that's a real lopsided score. But those 3 goals at the end were kind of gimmies for Baylor, where Syracuse was just on all-out attack and just trying to find a way back into the game. And we're going to get a look at the replays here. There were quite a few of them. Here's the first Baylor goal, and it was just such a tough one to try and defend. The ball was moving so slowly. I mean, it's not what you usually think when you think of a Rocket League goal. It was like the ball just barely crept into the net. Second one, I mean, really similar thing. It was just good communication. And then after that second goal, when there were about 2 minutes left to play, you saw like Syracuse could have gotten back into the game right there. But when that one didn't go in, and when Andy managed to finish that one off, it just really felt like that was it for Syracuse. Let up 3 more goals in the last minute.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in if you're Syracuse, and really any team in Rocket League when you get down 3-0 is, you see there, just another wide open shot for the Bears. That's what happens when you get down 3-0. You have to commit more offensively. You have to go try to put pressure on their defense and go get some type of momentum for you. Even if it's just 1 and you lose 3-1, you have to at least try to go make an offensive push, and that's what ends up happening.
And Syracuse just, I think, for this Game 3 has to be a little bit more aggressive, especially in the early stages. Get the momentum up early. We're heading into it now, though. Zanell starts out on the offensive end for the Bears, but Gababy meets him in midair. Lesser with a full tank of boost coming off that sidewall, but Andy's there at around midfield to clear it out. Demolishes Tiz, so the Orange playing shorthanded for a moment, but Gababy manages to clear. Hawkser, full tank of boost. Sets things back up in the offensive end for Baylor. Met by Tiz in that corner on the left wing. Lesser clears it out. Tiz can't get the boost to go and find it, but Gababy is there. He's got about a quarter tank. Gets it past 1, trying to play it a little bit slower, and Lesser comes in, finds his teammate Gababy with a beautiful rolling assist, and Lesser finishes for Syracuse. The Orange immediately gets some momentum back here early in Game 3.
A perfect play for the Orange. Gababy sets Lesser up perfect. They put the Baylor Bears in a rough spot. They had to pick. I don't even think they saw Lesser coming over. They really all were focused on Gababy.
Yeah, Lesser moved quickly and capitalized. It capitalized very well on a couple Baylor mistakes. A couple early shots from Baylor, but Gababy is there to clear it out. Zanell keeps it in the offensive zone for the Bears, and Lesser meets him to try and clear it out. Tiz gets it off the top of Hawkser. It's left right around midfield. Lesser with no boost gets 100 boost and clears it out. Gababy tries to take a shot, but it floats off left. Tries to keep it alive in the offensive zone. Lesser with a shot, and it's a good save coming off the dome from Andy. Tiz knocks it towards the middle, but no Orange are there to find it. Andy's got a full tank of boost, clearing it out now. Takes it past midfield, leaves it for Zanell, who knocks it off the ceiling. Hawkser gets a shot. Can Gababy stop it? He can! It's a great save, and Lesser on the follow-up. 2 great saves from Syracuse make sure they keep their lead, and it's a pinch clear now from Lesser.
The Orange do a great job playing defense. Gababy and Lesser both back, but Baylor instantly gets back into the Orange defense.
Yeah, I mean, they've now started to apply a lot more pressure. Zanil taking it off the wall, tried to leave it for Hoxer, but Syracuse now gets good boost and a good chance to clear. It's a shot from Tiz, and nobody's back for Baylor, and Syracuse takes a 2-0 lead. A lot more reminiscent of game one here rather than game two. Syracuse applying all the pressure.
Yeah, and a big moment there was the Orange stole a boost from Baylor. Baylor was trying to fly down the field and get the stop, but the Orange were in front of them and just taking all of the boost on the way.
I just looked outside, and Lesser had a gleeful look on his face looking in towards us. He's back locked in now. It's an early shot, but Zanil couldn't get on the end of it. Tiz trying to clear it out, but Hoxer reads him well. Leaves it for Zanil. Zanil flicking it into that offensive end. Gababy's going to go get the 100 boost and try and clear it out. Andy meets him on the 50, and it's flicked back up into kind of no man's land in the air. Hoxer gets it off the wall, takes a shot, and Zanil capitalizes. I mean, it was just a couple defensive lapses there. Hoxer knocks it in towards the middle. Tiz couldn't get down on it. Gababy couldn't get back, and Zanil read it well.
Yeah, the Bears just had a great play call there. Again, they caught the Orange with the lack of numbers. That's what it is sometimes. It's just a numbers game, and the Bears had the numbers.
Syracuse has to continue playing good defense and try and find another goal, because that 2-goal advantage, which felt like so much, has now been ripped in half. Tiz trying to clear it out, but Zanil keeps the offensive pressure on. Gababy can only clear it as far as Hoxer. He's got a full tank of boost. Tiz can't quite get in front of him. Lesser trying to flick it out. And it's rolling slowly in front of that Syracuse goal, a dangerous area. Andy demolishes Tiz. The Orange are playing a man down. Hoxer into the middle, but Gababy meets him off the top wall. Andy with a full tank of boost, coming through the air. Gets it past one, a good little flip reset, but it's a good save from Lesser.
A good save by Lesser, and the Orange really they need to clear this ball out. They have to get this ball out of their zone, and Gababy does just that and gets the ball across the 50.
Yeah, Syracuse playing defense by the skin of its teeth there, but everybody gets an opportunity to get a little bit more boost. Lesser clearing it out now off that ceiling. Can anybody get to it? Yeah, Hoxer's there. Gababy tries to knock it into the middle, but couldn't quite get on the end of it. Steals the 100 boost, though, which is arguably the more important thing. Lesser gets demolished. And it's Andy now through the air. Knocks it off that side wall, but Gababy clears it out. Tiz is the only one in the offensive zone for Syracuse, and Hoxer makes light work of it. Gababy meets him, tries to knock it into the middle, but Hoxer flicks it past. Lesser gets it back right around midfield, but Hoxer knocks it into the offensive zone for Baylor. Tiz flicks it out, and Lesser gets in the way of a decent shot. There's nobody in the defensive end now for Baylor. But Lesser couldn't quite get the pinch on it. Tiz keeps it in the offensive zone for Syracuse. Gababy with a full tank of boost, knocks it off the wall. Tiz trying to flick it on, leaves it for Lesser, but Andy gets in front of it. A minute to play now. Syracuse hanging on to a 1-goal advantage. Tiz flicks it back towards the middle, leaves it for Lesser. Lesser fakes one out, leaves it for Tiz. Tiz off the sidewall. Tiz looking to get past one, flicks it onto that back wall. Gababy is there, takes a shot, but Zanil saves it. Orange applying good, consistent offensive pressure now. Hoxer trying to clear it out, gets a 100 boost, but Lesser flicks it off the top of his car. Tiz clears it back into the offensive zone for Syracuse, but Zanil is all the way back. Lesser got a full tank of boost, flicks it up, tries to go up for it now. Got a decent amount of boost still, but Hoxer meets him. Syracuse has recovered fully on boost. Tiz flicks it off the top wall. Zanil now headed into the offensive zone for Baylor. Gababy gets up for it, but can't quite meet it. Hoxer with a shot on net, and the equalizer for Baylor.
The Bears equalize, and that's just great teamwork. Zanel sends it to the middle, bounces it right off the top right of the goal, and sends it to where Hoxer can just tap the ball in, and the Orange are mispositioned.
So 22 seconds. Both teams have had a ton of chances this game. 22 seconds for either team to find the winner. If not, we're headed to sudden death overtime. Gababy with a full tank of boost, trying to find a way through the Baylor defense, but is met by a Baylor defender. Hoxer now trying to clear it out. Tiz has a full tank of boost, but it gets by him. Tiz off that back wall, manages to clear, flicks it out of the defensive end. 3 seconds left. Lesser coming off that sidewall with a full tank of boost. Gets past one, wins a 50, but if it touches ground, we're headed to overtime. Both teams trying to keep it alive. Tiz is just going to let it tap, and overtime we have in a rubber match.
An overtime match. I think that's a smart choice by Syracuse to let the ball touch. Play for overtime, play for a reset, get another face-off, and see what you can do offensively.
Yeah, if you don't like the boost situation that you've got, I think that's perfectly valid. Lesser coming up towards the ceiling. We know what this guy can do with boost, but Andy is there to keep it. Andy kind of gets a double flick and a little bit of a double commit for Baylor, but it also led to a double commit for Syracuse. Tiz manages to clear it out, got a decently full tank of boost, but Andy takes it off of his car. Lesser gets up for it defensively, makes a good play, but Hoxer meets him. Tiz is behind to clear it out and flicks it past. Tiz leaves it for Lesser, who gets it back to Tiz, but Andy is there to meet him. Gababy back on the defensive end for Syracuse as Hoxer coming up on offense for the Bears. Gababy gets the better of him and gets a nice bump there too to keep the pressure off the Orange. Lesser has a decent amount of boost left. Tries to clear it past but can't quite do it. Tiz with some good boost, but Andy is there on the defensive end yet again. Gababy flicks it into the middle. Finds Lesser, who comes off that sidewall pretty much out of nowhere. Lesser wins another 50, leaves it in that Baylor defensive end. Tiz flicks it into Gababy. Gababy, the shot on net, and the goal! Syracuse takes a 2-1 lead, and it's the captain whose heroics get it done for Syracuse. A great pass from Tiz. Gababy finishes off the post, and it's a doink win for Syracuse.
A great job in overtime for the Orange. They did everything you needed to do right. They managed their boost well, they rotated well, and they set each other up for success well.
And it proved the decision to kind of take it to overtime. They didn't love the amount of boost that they had or the rotations that they had headed into overtime. They said, all right, let's just let ball tap. We'll go into overtime, and it proved to be absolutely worthwhile. We've got the replays coming at you here. Lesser found the first goal for Syracuse, and Gababy made a good defensive play afterward. Syracuse took an early 2-0 lead. I mean, the defense was absolutely fantastic. That double save from Lesser and Gababy was absolutely absurd, and Tiz managed to squeak one by to go up 2-0. Then it kind of switched over to a Baylor-heavy match. They found 2 goals, one there with about 2.5 minutes, and then the other coming pretty late in the game.
Yeah, the Orange defense just started to fall apart a little bit towards the middle and late half of this game, and then you see it right here as Baylor gets the game-tying goal with 22 seconds. A huge goal for the Bears, and getting it to overtime was big for the Orange.
Yeah, there it is. Gets the goal off the post. Gababy manages to find it. It was absolutely fantastic stuff from Syracuse. We're about to head into Game 4 with Syracuse with the chance for a huge upset, Nate.
Syracuse has a chance to do something that no team has done in the PEC yet and defeat the Baylor Bears. If you're Syracuse, you have to stay calm, have good mental, and play smart.
And it's been an issue for Syracuse this year, which is finishing out games against good opponents and, shutting the door. We saw it last week against Boise State. We'll see if they can do a better job this week.
Have to do a better job this week. Is Andy going to get it to the middles? Andy actually pressuring the Orange. Lesser going to clear it, though. Zanell trying to fly in for a 50. He wins it. Gets it back into the Orange zone, but Tiz is home, and Gababy gets the 100 boost. So now the Orange might have an opportunity to go play some offense, but 2 Bears are back. Hawks are going to be the first one to touch.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty, nothing special so far. Lesser gets a shot off the crossbar, but, pretty consistent play from both teams from what we've seen today.
Consistent play as it's in the Baylor zone, but all 3 are home. Lesser going to try to get it into the zone a little bit more, but Andy there sends it to the roof, gets it to across midfield, but Tiz is there to send it home. Hoxer there to make a great stop. Andy crossing the 50. Lesser going to make it go back across the 50. A lot of back and forth so far this game as the Orange have a chance to pressure Hoxer, though, in great position to shut down Tiz's shot. Hoxer with only 12 boosts, not going to be able to do much, but Andy comes through with some boost, able to keep it in the Orange zone. Lesser good defense, Tiz even better defense. Zanell now to Hoxer. Hoxer going to send it, has a chance. Tiz is there to make a stop. Hoxer going to try to send it to the middle. Tiz again with a great block. The Orange are playing solid defense so far, and now Gababy going to get it into the Baylor zone, but Baylor clears it as it's Zanell, Lesser home to make a good stand, but it is not enough. The Baylor Bears are able to strike first as it's Hoxer with a great play.
Yeah, I mean, Zanell Lesser needed a bit more of a solid clear, and Hoxer read it well. Puts Baylor up. I mean, we've seen how it goes so far. If you score first, you end up winning in this series. We'll see if that holds true here in Game 4.
The theme indeed has been score first, win game. And that is something that if you're the Orange, you want to change quick. You do have 3 minutes on the clock still, a lot of time to come back after that goal. As Lesser going to start to pressure the Bears early, but Hoxer is home. Tiz flying in out of nowhere, going to get a chance to set his teammate up, but nobody there as Zanell makes a great block. Gababy with an opportunity as it's Andy, though, who clears it out. And right now, the Bears don't have any boost as Andy, but Zanell does have boost. I lie. Lesser going to try to come in. Zanell with only 16 boosts. Gababy sends it back into the Bears zone, but it's Andy with 100 boosts. Tiz a 50. Andy wins it as it keeps pressuring Syracuse. Hawks are there to send it in, but the Orange are both home. Tiz and Gababy. Zanell now, as we're going to look at a Hawks or Gababy almost one-on-one. Yep, Gababy wins it, and Andy comes flying, and it's an empty net for the Orange, but Lesser comes flying in. Makes a great job there. Good heads-up play by Lesser. Tiz sends it into Hawkser. Hawkser trying to get it across the 50 and pressure the Orange. Lesser is home and almost a goal, but Gababy there to make a good stop.
I mean, it's been incredible defense from Syracuse. Let up one goal. You got to get back in the offensive end now soon, and here's an opportunity to do so.
A great opportunity, but the Bears defense there to make another stop. This defense so hard to penetrate. The Orange have done a good job today, but man, it can be difficult sometimes to get past this Baylor's defense a lot of the time. But the Orange have an opportunity here. Gababy, is there anyone home? Tiz is home. It's a demo and almost a chance for the Orange. Gababy gets demoed now. It might be a 3-on-1 for Baylor.
Yeah, everybody respawned quickly, and Lesser now with an opportunity in the offensive zone. My goodness, Syracuse starting to apply some more consistent offensive pressure here.
The Orange playing consistent, making aggressive heads-up play, managing their boost well, but Baylor just has been perfect, making every stop that you look for. It's Andy now getting it back into the zone, the Syracuse left side there, as Lesser, demos Hawkser. Now Tiz with an opportunity, but Andy home to clear it on the left. No boost here for Tiz. He gets 8 off of the little orb. Gababy on the right side, going to try to send the ball to the middle of the field. He cannot get it for Lesser. Tiz, though, sends it back to the middle, but Andy's home. This Baylor defense has been phenomenal.
Gababy nearly had the putback there. It was, I mean, a fantastic save from Hawkser. This offensive pressure from Syracuse has been really nice for the last 2 minutes or so.
They've been great at pressuring, but not great at scoring. You need to find an opportunity here quick if you're Syracuse. Only 45 seconds left on the clock, or else you're going to be going into a 2-2 map 5.
I mean, even going to a 2-2 map 5 with Baylor is great, but you'd love to pick up you'd love to give them their first loss in this PEC season.
Would be a great feeling for the Orange, and this might be the last chance they see on this map as Tiz going to try to send it out to the middle. Lesser's there, but he doesn't have enough boost to really make a play on the ball. Hawks are flying up to counter Lesser. Hawks are misses, but Andy's there. Tiz, Andy going to get it past Tiz, and Gababy going to have to get back to make a defensive play for the Orange. Gababy going to try to send it. When the clock hits 1, the game will be over if the ball touches. And the ball is flying around to the left side of Baylor's defense. The ball touches the Bears. Tied up 2-2.
Yeah, we're going to head into game 5 now. I mean, they say pressure makes diamonds, and that's exactly what Syracuse is going to have to be here. They are going to have to be at their very best to beat this Baylor team. Even going to 5 games against Baylor is super impressive and gives a lot of hope for this team, especially heading into PEC or eventual PEC playoffs and the PEC championship in Vegas in April. But if they can hand Baylor their first loss here in a game 5, that would just be absolutely incredible for the morale of this team, for the confidence of this team headed into Vegas.
Yeah, and this is a time where if you're the Orange, you really want to start finding that momentum as we get closer to the postseason for PECC. You have Boost on the Beach coming up next weekend. You really want to find some momentum for the Orange now because it's a perfect time in the season, too, as we get into replays.
Yeah, they say you just got to get hot at the right time. There's that Baylor goal that, that was the difference maker. It was great defense from the Orange from there on out and some great offensive chances, but just couldn't quite get anything to go.
Yeah, couldn't get past the Baylor defense. Baylor was just always aware. They were so heads up. And the one thing I like about Baylor, it's very hard to actually pressure their players. You get them in a 2-on-1, Baylor stays calm. They know what to do. They stay composed. They get the ball out.
Well, we've got a game 5 coming up here. Syracuse with the opportunity to upset the Baylor Bears in game 5. Syracuse already starting off with some pressure in that offensive zone. Tiz gets it past 1, but Hawkser with a full tank is there to clear it out. Hawkser waiting to be met by Lesser. Lesser just couldn't quite get back on defense, but Gababy was behind him to make a good play. Tiz now trying to clear it out, but Andy is there. Lesser in the middle with a full tank of boost. Gets it past 1, but Zanil meets him in the air. Zanil tries to knock it down and get a second touch on it, but Gababy gets there before he can. Now it's Andy all the way on that defensive end, trying to get a clear. Now trying to make some offense happen. Zanil with a shot, and a goal. Baylor leads just 40 seconds into this decisive Game 5, and that was all Andy. Andy was untouched into that offensive zone, and Zanil just found the finish.
Zanil finds the finish, and I mean, that's just great by Baylor playing together, knowing what to do, and Andy managing his boost well to be able to set himself up for that goal.
It's Zanil with a full tank through the air yet again, but Kababy is there to clear. Knocked back into the middle for Andy, who takes a shot on net. And Syracuse is down 2-0 in the span of 10 seconds.
Not what you want if you're the Orange. A lot of times people say the first 60 seconds can really tell the tale of a Rocket League match, and to go down 2-0 in that first 60 is rough.
Syracuse going to have to do some locking in now in order to win. That's Lesser off the sidewall with a full tank of boost, but Hawks are now into that offensive zone. Tries to get a flick, but Kababy is there. Kababy met by Zanil on the clear, and Andy is there to back him up. Now it's Lesser who decides to opt for the bump on Andy. Flicked up to Lesser in that offensive zone. Back to Tiz. Tiz finds a goal! Syracuse claws one back, and it's been end-to-end Rocket League so far.
A great job by the Orange to bounce back, and it didn't take a long time to bounce back. That's what I like to see. What we've seen in the past out of Syracuse is when you get that 2-0 in the first 60, it's hard to come back. They struggle. There, not at all.
And Syracuse, it kind of felt like just needed an offensive chance, and they got it right there. Another opportunity, and Tiz ties things up. It's 2-2 yet again. Still feels like 0-0, lads.
The Orange tie it up. Tiz, a great play, wins the 50 on Hoxer, and man, what a momentum swing if you're the Orange.
And that was absolutely necessary. It's 2 goals in 10 seconds for Baylor, followed by 2 goals in 10 seconds for Syracuse. Just, I mean, incredible stuff. Lesser leaves it down for Tiz, but can't find it. Kababy in the offensive zone with a decent amount of boost, gets it past one, leaves it for a teammate, but it's a good save and a good clear by Lesser. Or excuse me, by Hoxer. Lesser finds it at midfield, knocks it past one, pinches it into the middle, but Hoxer gets up for it. Kababy up into the air, knocks it down into the middle. Andy clears it out though. Lesser finds one off the wall, gets a flick on it, but it's a good save from Hoxer. All the way back into that Syracuse end, and Kababy is now going to try to clear it out. Hoxer meets him, but it's Tiz with a full tank of boost off the back wall. A good bump from Kababy, leaves one less defender for Baylor, but I mean, Baylor's still applying a lot of offensive pressure. Zanil on the follow-up. Knocks it into the middle. Kababy, though, trying to clear it out. Andy gets a touch on it. Leaves it for Zanil. Zanil flicks it into the air. Both trying to leave it for Hoxer, but it's a good clear from Tiz. Andy gets 100 boost and clears it out again. Kababy, though, off the back wall. Just misses the goal. Lesser flicks it up into the air, but Zanil is there to clear it out yet again. It was a tough read, and Tiz couldn't find it, but Lesser's got a decent amount of boost and clears it off that back wall. Hoxer meets him in the middle and wins the 50, but Kababy is there to back it up. Now Andy flying through the air. Syracuse defenders back with it, and it was a defensive pinch there that kind of worked out in the end for the Orange.
Yeah, the Orange defense has been playing solid so far. That was a lot of pressure by Baylor, but Syracuse able to stay composed, but Baylor going to just send it back into Syracuse's defense. What I'm wondering right now is what's going through your head if you're Baylor? Syracuse, we know.
What's going through your head is you just scored, and you're back up 3-2 with just 2 minutes to play.
And it appears we have...
There's something going on with the network, but we should still be able to take you through the rest of this game. Yeah, we'll be all good in that regard. The face-off here in Syracuse has 2 minutes to find a goal and try and force overtime.
Syracuse needs to get something going offensively before the goal by Baylor. I was going to say, I wonder what you're thinking if you're Baylor. First time really being in this situation in the PEC, it feels like. But they responded perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, there's no pressure when you're a team full of pros like Baylor is. Andy gets a demolition on Lesser, but Tiz has a full tank of boost in his back for the Orange to defend. Flicks it past Andy yet again. Tries to get another flick on it, leaves it in the middle for a teammate. Oh, but Kababy couldn't find the shot on target. Hoxer trying to clear it out, and does so, but only as far as Kababy, who flicks it back into the offensive end. Tiz waits on it, gets 100 boost, and is just not quite in the right position to clear it out. Lets it go into the middle, gets a flip reset, but Hoxer is there to meet him. Gababy trying to flick it, keep it in that offensive end. Gababy leaves it, and Lesser equalizes. It was a great dummy from Gababy. You can see it right here. Gababy pinches it off the sidewall. Lesser takes the shot. Gababy says, no, I'm going to opt for the bump instead. And Syracuse ties it up with a minute to play.
A great play call by the Orange. Exactly what you need in that minute. Gababy does a great job on the bump. Lesser taps it in.
Just a minute left to go now to find a goal for either side or force overtime. Syracuse went to overtime in Game 3 and ended up winning it. Oh, it's off the sidewall, but Tiz is back to defend for Syracuse. Zanil finds it in midair and knocks it into the middle, but couldn't find the net. Andy gets a full tank of boost, climbs into the air, but Lesser clears it out. Gababy and Hoxer meet in midfield, and Tiz is the third one back for Syracuse. Gababy trying to clear it out past that offensive zone, but gets demolished. 2 full tanks of boost for Syracuse on defense. Gonna have to make the most of them. Andy flicks it past one, but Tiz gets it out. Gababy back, needs to defend, and gets the save on Zanil. It's Hoxer up off the top, tries to get the dunk, and it's a great save for Syracuse. Andy, though, nobody back, and Syracuse goes down 1 with just 20 seconds to play. It was a great save, but a double commit, and Andy made the most of it.
Andy found a gap in the Syracuse defense, and that's just unfortunate if you're Syracuse. It's a pressured situation. You feel like you have to double commit, but you might not have to.
Just 20 seconds left. Gababy trying to create something now in the offensive zone. Zanil clears it out, but it's a good read by Lesser to win the 50. Knocks it in the middle, but none of his teammates are there to stop it. Andy flicks it into that Syracuse end, and there it is, the dagger. Baylor goes up 5-3 on an empty net goal, had to commit everything forward to try and find the goal, and Syracuse is going to fall to Baylor 3-2.
You got to give the Orange credit. They came out today, they played a 14-0 team, played a team that hasn't really been tested much this season, and weren't able to get it done, but really a hard-fought game.
Syracuse pushed Baylor to being tied with a minute left in Game 5. But Baylor, in the end, showed their quality, found a goal, found another goal late, and Syracuse just falls at the last second. It was an incredibly impressive display from the Orange to take the Bears to Game 5. I mean, you've got to say, if there's any team that feels like right now they can beat Baylor in Vegas, it's Syracuse after that performance, especially in a 7-game series. You've got 2 more games to work with. You never know what's going to happen, but it was just a tough Game 5. Really felt like it could have gone either way, and we'll take a look at it right now. Baylor went up 2 goals early, scored at 4:20 and then at 4:10, so just 10 seconds to gain a 2-goal advantage. Syracuse, though, scored at the 3:51 mark, and then scored again just a couple seconds later on just a couple of defensive miscues from Baylor. Yeah, just a couple seconds later, scored again. Tied things back up, was battling every which way. And then Baylor found another goal. So they right around that 2-minute mark, Baylor finds another goal. But Syracuse gets back in it with around a minute to go. Gababy with a nice bump. And just with 20 seconds left, it's a heartbreaker. But Baylor finds it. Syracuse devotes everything on the all-out attack after that. But Baylor takes advantage, gets an empty netter.
Yeah, and whenever you have to play in a pressured situation like that and force all of your assets onto offense, it is tough to. I mean, you can't play any defense, but what are you going to do? I mean, in that situation, you have to go out, you have to play offense. Really a great game. And for both teams, you have to sit there and say, wow, these might be the best 2 teams in the PEC.
And you hope now that Syracuse can get a 2 or a 3 seed in the PEC so that should they end up beating Boise State, Michigan State in that semifinals, they get to play Baylor again in the finals, because this was the best game that Baylor or Syracuse have played all season. It was an absolute barn burner from start to finish, and both teams just showing why they're 2 of the best in the PEC. That's all we've got for you tonight from myself and Nate Romastan. A huge thank you to everybody in the production room right next to us. It's been an absolute thriller. Syracuse, just a couple of games of PEC action left. We'll have all the action for you. They head down to Boost on the Beach a week from now. But thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back in a couple weeks. Next week is spring break. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.